Thank you, Shai, for leading us into a meaningful time of worship. Good morning to all of you wonderful people present here this morning. I would like to take this time to thank my dear sir, Dr. Kailash Kumar Shatri, and all my advisory members for giving me this opportunity to share from the word of God this morning. Shall we all go to the Lord? Gracious Father, we come in your presence. Father, hear our prayers and answer our petitions. And as we are going to listen to your word, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. You must have heard about a Christian joke that goes like this. Live your life in such a way that your pastor won't have to lie on the day of your funeral. And how can we stop our pastor from lying on that day? By carefully considering some of the choices that we make in our life. So the scripture passage that we read today is from Exodus chapter 1 verse 15 to 22. The passage is indeed very familiar to us. You might have heard, or you might remember your Sunday school teacher asking you the question, what were the names of the Hebrew midwives in Egypt? So though this portion of scripture is very familiar to us, and even true that we have heard it and read it hundreds of times, but it contains some serious life applications that we face in our day-to-day life. Based on this observation, I would like to speak on the theme, the choices of life. The choices of life. Verse 15 starts with the modification in the already existing plan of Pharaoh that was going on. When the Egyptians found out about the possible threat to their nation from the Jewish people, they started oppressing and enslaving them with burdens beyond human capacity. Enslavement was only partially effective. So Pharaoh decided to enact a more aggressive policy that we see in verse 15. That is, killing of the male children with the help of the midwives at their birth. It is kind of strange that the names of two midwives are mentioned, Shiprah and Puah. I mean, by looking into the social status of their profession, they fall in the category of people who mattered the least in the society. So more or less, just mentioning midwives would have been sufficient to explain the event. But the question of great significance here is, what did these two ordinary women do that their names are clearly mentioned? How come they are still remembered and are considered as great examples of courage and piety? The answer is, they carefully considered some of the life's choices, understanding that the choices that we make have lasting implications and effects on our life. So the first choice Shiprah and Puah made, which is also the first point of my sermon, fear of humans versus fear of God. The first choice that Shiprah and Puah made, and also the first point of the sermon, that is fear of humans versus fear of God. Verse 15 reads, the king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, whose names were Shiprah and Puah. So in Hebrew, the name Shiprah means beauty or fair one, and the name Puah means splendid or girl. The Hebrew word lam yardot, which is translated as midwife, which means one who helps to bear. So a midwife helps a woman at her childbirth by taking the newborn, cutting the umbilical cord, washing the baby with water, and wrapping the baby. So the next question probably would be, are these two ladies the only midwives in the land? Probably not. With so many Hebrew women bearing children, Shiprah and Puah were not the only midwives, but probably the chief midwives. Or they oversaw the midwives. And for obvious reason, had other midwives assisting them. So we also see that Egyptians were masters in organization. as history clearly denotes that the Egyptian civilization was one of the greatest in the history. So Shiprah and Puah are commanded by the king to kill the Hebrew male children at birth, verse 16. Now, how are they supposed to execute this? The king explains that too. In Egypt and among the Hebrews, women often crouched in delivery on a pair of bricks or stones or a delivery stool. So we can read that in verse 16 where the king says, when you help the Hebrew women in childbirth and observe them on the delivery stool. This indicates to the bricks or the stone that they used at the time of delivery. Verse 16 you can see that. So Pharaoh instructed at this time, right at the delivery, the moment of birth, as the midwife is catching the baby, she is to determine the sex of the child. And if it were a male, she apparently was to suffocate the baby, so it appeared to be stillborn or dead during birth. Now here we need to ponder on two things. First one is the nature of this king. And second, to the question of why kill only the male and not kill the girls. The preceding verses, that is verse 8 to 14, clearly depict the picture of the nature of the Egyptian king. He was oppressive beyond limits. He was dominating, he was cruel, and he was very much inhuman. Our text depicts a further ruthless, cold-hearted, despotic character of the king. This is very evident in his command to kill the male children at birth. Now focusing on the second question. Why kill only the male children? Killing the male children was a well-sought plan by the Egyptian king. If this plan has succeeded, Pharaoh would have wiped out the Hebrew people. The future generation of men will be dead, and the girls would eventually be absorbed or married to the Egyptian races. So this was a well-sought-out plan by the Egyptian king. Then comes the significant question, or the question of great significance. Whom to fear? Whom to fear? The tyrannical king who will go to any extent in accomplishing his task? The tyrannical king who will go to any extent in accomplishing his evil schemes? Or the Almighty God? Whom to fear? The Bible clearly says in verse 17, Shiprah and Puah feared God and did not do what the king had told them to do. The midwives disobeyed the king only because they chose to obey God. They disobeyed the king only because they chose to obey God. You see, it's a dilemma for sure, but it is a choice. No matter which option you choose, it will have lasting implications. When you and I have the fear of God, we flee away from evil. Evil that harms us and evil that harms our fellow human beings. As it says in Proverbs 16 verse 6, through the fear of God, a man, a woman avoids evil. Through the fear of God, a man, a woman avoids evil. My second point of the sermon, and also the second choice that Shiprah and Puah made, is between legalism, pragmatism, or spirit-guided life. They had to choose between legalism or pragmatism or spirit-guided life. Verse 18. Now the king demands an explanation. What the midwives did was something what today we can call civil disobedience. Dear people of God, just imagine the mental state of Shiprah and Puah, these two midwives, when they were made to stand in front of the furious king, refusing to obey an evil law for the higher good. Refusing to obey an evil law for the higher good. But biblical ethics do admonish Christians to obey human authorities, but also reminds us that our obedience must not violate our conscience. When the laws of the world are contrary to the laws of God, then we ought to obey God's laws rather than the world's, as it is said in Acts 5 verse 21. You see this exemplified not only in the lives of the midwives, but also in the life of Daniel and his friends. And also we can see the similar thing in the lives of the apostles of Jesus Christ. Verse 19 says, midwives answered Pharaoh, Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women. They are vigorous and they give birth before the midwives arrive. Did they lie to Pharaoh? Did Shiprah and Puah lie to Pharaoh? God's law is very clear, thou must not lie. But there are times in this evil world when we may have to choose between greater and lesser evils. We need the wisdom of God to direct us for this. As long as the world is in the struggle of sin, we will face difficult situations like this that we need to respond, and we need the grace of God for doing this. You see, here Shiprah and Puah has to choose between legalism or pragmatism and spirit-guided action. So legalism is a strict, literal or excessive conformity to the law or to a religious or a political moral code. Thus, a legalist would obey simply the letters of the law as it is. Now moving on to the next concept, pragmatism. It is a claim that a law or an ideology or a proposition is true only if it works satisfactorily. That the meaning of the law is to be found in the practical consequences of accepting it. And that unpractical ideas are to be rejected. Thus, a pragmatist does see what it is right and safe at that particular point of time. But Shiprah and Puah chose neither legalism nor pragmatism. They chose to be guided by the Spirit in doing what is true. They could have held on to legalism and say, this is the decree from the king. We have to obey it as it is. Or they must have held on to pragmatism and they could have said, now it seems like we should obey the king because it is safe for us at this particular point of time, and we might think of doing something different at a later period. But they did not do any of this. They chose to be guided by the Spirit in doing what is true. Friends, our rationale, our logic, our lucidity, our sensibleness that we are so proud of, our scientific articulations, all will not help us always in tackling this world. This web around us is not an easy puzzle to solve. If you and I are not guided by the Spirit of God, I warn you that you and I will end up making wrong choices. Lastly, the third and final choice that Shiprah and Puah made, and also the third point of the sermon, they made a choice between prosperity and persecution. Prosperity or persecution. Simply obeying the command of the king would have resulted in great prosperity in the life of Shiprah and Puah. You see, Pharaoh's greatest ambition at this point of his life was wiping out the Hebrews. Would he reward those people tremendously who helped him in accomplishing his life's goal? Just imagine, would he reward those people who will help him in accomplishing his life's goal? And on the contrary, just imagine, won't he punish severely or most probably execute those people who stood against his life's goal? Time to choose between prosperity and persecution. Shiprah and Puah chose persecution over prosperity. They exactly knew the outcome of treason and disloyalty. But the choice, we see in verse 21 that through not carrying out the ruthless command of the king, Shiprah and Puah helped to build up the families of Israel. Verse 21, you can see that. They did not choose prosperity over persecution, but they hoped for prosperity in the midst of persecution. They did not choose prosperity over persecution, but they hoped for prosperity in the midst of persecution. You might have heard the famous dialogue from the famous movie Shawshank Redemption, where he said, hope is a good thing. When your when your hope is in line with the will of God, I would like to tell you, hope is a good thing. When they helped in building the families of God, God helped them. God gave them families of their own. It is written in verse 21, very beautiful. God gave them families of their own. God rewarded them, as our beloved church father St. Augustine says, and I would like to quote him. God rewarded them not however because they lied, but because they were merciful to the people of God. It was not their falsehood that was rewarded, but their kindness. More correctly, their fear of God, their benevolence of mind, and not the wickedness of their lying. For the sake of what was good, God forgave what was evil. Sadly, in verse 22, it has a very disturbing tone. The climax of cruelty. Pharaoh gave orders to all his people, every boy that is born, you must throw into the Nile. The Israelite houses were filled with tears of agony and fear of the adversary. The inhuman brutality of Pharaoh was so beyond any literal expressions. No people in recorded history have suffered as the Hebrew people have suffered. But every nation or ruler who has persecuted the Jews, whether it is Egypt or Philistines, Assyrians or Babylonians, for that matter Hitler also, has been punished forever. After all, God's promise to Abraham was, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. My dear people of God, I would like to conclude my sermon here. Shiprah and Puah were very ordinary people who lived in utmost pressure of tyranny and despotism. But they feared God more than the human tyrant. They feared God more than the human tyrant. They made their choices and were very clearly convinced about it. That is why they go down in history as great examples of courage and piety. What about us? We too live in alarming situations. I don't need to tell you about the realities of our nation. Will you and I choose to fear God, or will you and I choose to fear humans? Will our lives be guided by the Spirit, or will we go for the legalist stance or the pragmatic stance, whichever we seem to be easy to accept? And finally, will we choose to suffer for His name's sake, choosing prosperity, or will we choose to suffer for His name, choosing persecution over prosperity? I would like to close by saying the lines of J. Parker. All the great workers in the society are not at the front. A hidden work is continually going on. The people in the shade are strengthening the social foundations. There is another history beside that which is written in the columns of the daily newspaper. Every country has heroes and heroines uncanonized. Let us be like Shiprah and Puah of this generation, who worked in laying foundation of a mighty nation. God bless you all.